In LA, 4 massive wildfires continue to spread in the suburbs of Los Angeles, and more fires are still popping up. The latest has broken out in the Hollywood Hills. It is burning in the area between Runyon Canyon and Wattles Park and has triggered more mandatory evacuations. More than 137,000 people have been forced to evacuate. Officials say, despite best efforts, the fires are 0% contained due to the strong winds and shortage of water. Now, for the latest, let's speak to CBS reporter Ashley Sharp. Ashley, thanks for joining us. What more can you tell us about the fires that continue to rage across Los Angeles?
Hi, Steve. Well, of those major fires that are burning here across Los Angeles, I'm covering the Eaton fire currently. We're in Altadena, California, just outside of LA. The Eaton fire is the second largest in size, but has proven the most fatal. We've reported 5 fatalities so far that the Eaton fire has been responsible for. And right now, that firefight is active around me. You're seeing a spot fire behind me where a structure has burned to the ground. And just up the hill from where I'm standing, dozens of fire trucks and crews are actively fighting the Eaton fire up on the hill. You'll hear off and on fire alarms that are sounding around me as well, and smoke has filled the air. What I can tell you, Steve, is the difference is the wind. What were hurricane force gusts yesterday have calmed, which is a help to those fire crews tonight.
And speaking of those fire crews, Ashley, how have they been coping? They've been on the move and fighting these fires for well over a day now.
Steve, they're exhausted. We're standing right across from a fire hydrant where those crews have been coming down the hill, filling up with water and going right back up. It's an all hands on deck situation. Crews from across the state, from Northern California, where we are very familiar with fighting wildland fire. Crews have made their way down south, so it's an all hands on deck situation. And as you can imagine, too, the emotional weight of seeing a lot of what they're seeing. You're seeing families flee their homes with their pets in their arms. You're seeing people having to watch their homes burn to the ground all across Los Angeles County. It weighs heavily on these firefighters, and they too know that they have such an important job to do in getting these very, very dangerous fires contained that right now are sitting at 0% containment.
And tell us a bit about those people that have been leaving their homes and how the evacuations have been going. I understand there was some reluctance from some residents in Los Angeles yesterday to evacuate as they were being instructed.
The evacuation orders have continued tonight. I mean, tens of thousands of people under evacuation order, and Los Angeles' mayor warning tonight that there could be more evacuation orders coming through the night and into the morning. So if you're living in this Los Angeles area, you're glued to your phone. You're glued to information about where this fire is moving and where in turn you need to move. You asked about people who have evacuated. We showed images from CBS last night of seniors who had been evacuated from a senior center. They were sitting outside on their hospital beds in wheelchairs with only masks to help protect themselves as flames surrounded their senior center. We did get to stop by the Pasadena Convention Center earlier today where some of those seniors were taken. That's the question, right? When you evacuate people from places like this, from places like hospitals, where do you take them? Regional transit buses showed up, and they got those seniors to places like the Pasadena Convention Center, where right now it's a waiting game as to what comes next.
Yeah, and speaking of what comes next, you mentioned earlier about how the wind was not as strong as it was yesterday. That is a key component here for how firefighters are able to battle this blaze. Is there any confidence that the wind will not pick up again?
For perspective, I could tell you this, Steve. Yesterday, I could not be standing safely where I am right now because that wind would carry this small fire right here. The embers would catch and the brush surrounding me would be just a nearly certain risk that it would catch on fire. So we have a bit more confidence today. And, you know, most of these fires, yes, they are moving, but you can see, you know, my hair is not moving. Much behind me is not moving. So we're a bit more confident. You know, it's just a bit safer in this scenario now. Of course, we always have our eyes on our backs in a scenario like this. But when you talk about those winds tonight, calm, but we could see gusts returning tomorrow. That's what people are going to be watching for. But hopefully we're not going to see the hurricane force winds that were topping near 100 miles per hour in some instances here across Los Angeles.